Hey, welcome back to Shannon's Kitchen. Today I'm making my version of Vietnamese spring rolls that make for the perfect light snack, appetizer, or even a meal. It's a rice paper wrap filled with lots of fresh, aromatic herbs along with some shrimp dipped in a salty and sweet peanut sauce. It's a simple and basic recipe that you can use as a springboard for whatever fillings that you prefer. So when making spring rolls, you want to make sure that all the ingredients are ready and prepared, so all there is to do later is assemble them. Here I'm just blanching the shrimp in some plain water, but feel free to use aromatics like ginger for a slight spicy hot kick, or lemongrass for a citrusy lime flavor. Once the shrimp are bright coral pink, strain them out of the warm bath and submerge in icy cold water. It's even better when you actually have ice in it. So now that it's done, you want to get your hands on some thin vermicelli, which you can find, like most things on this channel, at your local Asian supermarket, so Ranch 99, Pacific Market, whatever local supermarket that you have that sells Asian specialties. They're usually made out of rice flour as opposed to wheat flour, and sometimes they'll be dried like this, or you can actually find the fresh one as well in the refrigerated section. I find it's usually by the tofu. But if you do get the dry version, and hopefully there's some English directions for you to follow, then obviously follow that. Otherwise, for me, I just soaked my thin vermicelli in some cold water, make sure it's cold, initially for 10 minutes, and then boiled it for a total of 5 minutes, and then immediately strain those noodles, drop into some cold water to stop the cooking. That way the noodles don't get too mushy on you. And ideally you would take the noodles and strain them directly into a colander in the sink, and then just rinse it under some cold running water to remove any excess starch. So that's it in terms of the cooking part for this recipe, and as you can tell, it's very quick and simple and easy to make, and it gives us extra time to spend on our peanut sauce, which in my opinion is the most important part of eating spring rolls, and really the whole point of eating spring rolls. So start out by taking a 1/4 cup of peanut butter. I use some smooth natural peanut butter here, but honestly I think crunchy peanut butter would also be good here because it does add that crunchy texture from the peanuts. And then to that you want to add a 1/4 cup of Hoisin sauce, 2 teaspoons of fish sauce, some freshly squeezed lime juice. I ended up using 1 whole lime at the end of it to give it that extra boost of tang, and then 2 teaspoons of honey for a little bit of sweetness. And then as you're stirring, you might notice here it's quite thick. That will definitely stick to the roof of your mouth, which is not so delicious. So definitely add some hot water, just some hot boiling water, about 1/2 cup or so, and it all depends on the type of peanut butter that you use. But you basically want to have a pourable sauce that's not too runny, not too watery as well. You just want to make sure you have that perfect rich texture that's thin enough to run off the spoon, but also still thick enough to hang around, if you know what I mean. So now all the components should be ready to go to make easy work of assembly. Your shrimp should be cooled down by now and drained, of course. And if you're looking to stretch the almighty dollar, then consider butterflying your shrimp in half lengthwise to double the quantity. And also have ready a big bowl of herbs, and I'm just using the classic like Southeast Asian trio of coriander, aka cilantro, some fresh mint. I'm just using spearmint here, but definitely if you can find Vietnamese mint, use that, as well as some Thai basil. And since we're talking greens here, I also washed some red leaf lettuce for serving later. So now to get rolling, you want to grab a sheet of rice paper, which for some reason has this really interesting checkered pattern to it. Not sure exactly why it's there, but I think it looks cool nonetheless. So now go ahead and just give your rice paper a dip in some room temperature water, and then like magic, just watch it disappear straight into the water, and you want to immediately remove it after exactly 5 seconds, definitely no less and definitely no longer, otherwise it's going to become overly hydrated and very soft and very difficult to work with. And then go ahead and shake off any excess water from that rice paper wrap and add your shrimp in a single file line down the center, followed by a healthy amount of fresh herbs. Definitely, this is not the time to be subtle. You want to add as much impact from that fresh herbs as possible. and then top it off with some fresh rice noodle, and then just wrap it up just like you would a burrito until it's nice and sealed. And just a word of caution here, it's best not to overstuff your rolls with too much rice noodles, otherwise you'll run into problems later when it comes to rolling it into a nice tight and pretty spring roll. And I just love how refreshing a spring roll is when you bite into it. You have the chew from the rice paper wrap along with the fresh noodles. You have the brightness from all those different herbs that complement each other so well. And I was very heavy-handed with the mint just because we have so much of it growing in our garden in the backyard. So when it's fresh, it's much more potent and fragrant. So it was definitely very strong and definitely came through as I was eating it. But of course, the nice thing with making spring rolls at home is that it's totally customizable. You can use whatever combination of herbs that you like, whatever kind of protein that you like. If you don't want to use shrimp, you can go vegetarian with some tofu. You can also, use pork or beef or whatever you like. And of course, you really can't go wrong when you dip it into some peanut sauce. That's just, again, so complex and so delicious. It's nutty, it's sweet, it's salty, a little bit briny from that fish sauce, a little bit tangy from the lime juice as well. That, again, keeps things nice and bright and refreshing. So definitely let me know in the comments below if you try this at home. Tell me what you think, as well as smash that like button. I appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe for new videos every week. And I'll see you back here next time. Bye.